grassroots activists, community builders, punk rock farmers, and DIY makers and musicians. Thanks for plugging into your community. Tonight, I've got a great show for you. We've got folks from SpyHop Productions and Real Stories, as well as folks from the food truck Face-Off that's happening in July. And then later in the program, we're going to dive into food insecurity in Utah, what that looks like, and we have some folks from the Food Justice Coalition, as well as the Utah Crisis Food Response. So we got lots of things on the show for you tonight, but before we do that, we're going to jump into some rallies and resources here tonight. Coming up Wednesday, tomorrow, or excuse me, in 2 days, we've got the LGBTQ Family Building Panel at Mill Creek Common. This is a space where you can come learn about family planning for queer and transgender folks, learn about adoption, egg, sperm, and embryo adoption, and all sorts of other things. Sounds like there's going to be fun and games, all sorts of families. And it's at Mill Creek Common. If you haven't been there, it is an outdoor skating rink. It's a really fun spot, so be sure to check that out. That's on the show notes for Radioactive at krcl.org or the rallies and resources. Also, we've got the same day, Wednesday, June 28th, the Urban and Small Farms Field Day at USU Botanical Center. This is perfect day for specialty crop producers engaged in direct marketing, including CSAs, farmer markets, and other outlets, as well as commercial growers that want to stay up to date with all the latest agricultural research. Sounds like a great time. That's going to be happening in Kaysville at the USU Botanical Center on Wednesday. So check that out. It says the event will continue rain or shine, which it's looking like it's going to be some significant shine this week. It's starting to warm up, so I don't think we have to worry about that. And then one other thing, on Friday, the Flamenco de Lago presents Flamenco de Verano Suben y Bajan. It is a flamenco dance happening at the Regent Street Black Box Theater downtown, the Eccles Theater. They're going to be doing a whole lot of types of flamenco, enjoying fiery footwork, beautiful costumes, heartfelt music, and passionate performances at the Flamenco de Lagos production. So check that out, and you can find all sorts of other things happening in your community at the Rallies and Resources page on krcl.org. But something else happening this week, and I have some guests in the studio to talk about it, the Real Stories film premiere. So let's go around and introduce everyone. First, we've got Lauren Brunken, the film mentor at SpyHop Productions. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
Oh, I probably need to turn on your microphones. That might be more helpful.
Hello. I'm good. How are you, Connor?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. And then next we have Munashe, one of the students in the program. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Do you want to get a little closer to that mic? Yeah, perfect.
Awesome.
There we go. We're doing great. And then Peter, last but not least, how are you?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
I like it. Y'all are so calm. I think I'm the only one that's anxious in the studio. So you are from SpyHop Productions, and you've been a part of Real Stories. So tell me a little bit. I'm going to ask the students really quickly, what is Real Stories? You got to give us our little elevator pitch. What is the program?
Do you want to go, Peter?
Sure. So I think basically what Real Stories is, it's, it's run by SpyHop, and it's a, documentary film making, class sort of thing for, the younger generation of people.
Yeah. Y'all are young people, right? How old are y'all?
I'm 17.
17.
I'm only 14, actually.
14?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, you do not look
Such
14.
a youngin'.
Such a youngin'. 4 years, such a difference. And how long has the program been for y'all?
The Real Stories program is about 3 weeks, but they have all sorts of programs. I was amazed by how much they have going on, free for teens. But Real Stories specifically was 3 weeks.
Okay, awesome. And Lauren, you're the mentor of the program. This is a documentary film program for students, right? Tell us a little bit, what does it look day to day for these students when they're in the program?
Yeah, so day to day, I mean, it changes drastically from like the first day to the last day, because our first week was all in the classroom, just pre-production stuff and learning, you know, everything we need to know for the next week, which is production. So yeah, it's split into 3 parts. It's the first week is pre-production, the second week is production, and then the third week is post-production. There's a 4th week that's happening right now. It's not necessarily scheduled
Not
usually,
the planned week, but necessary.
Yeah,
it sounds
whoever
like.
doesn't finish their edits, they have a 4th week.
Okay.
And
Peter
then
and I just so happen to be
Yes.
taking that 4th week.
yes, but then our premiere is always in the 4th week too. So there's always like a little bit of room just in case.
Yeah, and so the premiere, I don't know if I mentioned this, is happening this Thursday, right? What time and where can people
Yeah, it's
attend it?
this Thursday at 7 p.m. It will end at 9 p.m. and it's at the Salt Lake Public Library. Anyone can come.
Yeah.
And yeah, all of our filmmakers will be there except for 1. So 7
Okay.
out of the 8 films.
So there'll be a total of 8 films being
Yeah,
screened.
a
Though.
total of 8 films, a total of 7 filmmakers.
Okay, awesome. So I want to hear just really quickly a little bit more. Have you, either of you ever made films before?
I personally have never made like something I'd call a film, but I've always been interested, and in this project I made it about kind of myself and my growth journey. And ever since I was like 8 years old, I was recording videos of myself and music videos of myself and things like that. And so I wouldn't say I've always been a filmmaker, but I've always been an aspiring filmmaker.
Okay, so how does it feel to take that step of now, you know, kind of making a real film that's going to be premiered and be shown to people?
It feels really, it feels really good. It feels
Yeah.
really satisfying to like know, one, looking back at how this is kind of like stepstones to this point, and knowing that I have made a significant improvement through SpyHop to like come up with a complete and polished film that I can be proud of. It's really satisfying.
That's awesome. Peter, I mean, I don't know, how have you been making films up until this point? Is this your first film, and what's your film about?
So for me, I have, like, outside of SpyHop, I've never really made a film, but inside SpyHop, I have made at least one other film, because I was in Real Stories last year. And this year, my film is about a video game company called Valve, and it's more like specifically about a physics engine they made and used to make games.
Pretty significant physics engine from what I understand, right?
Oh yeah.
Changed video games forever. This is my nerd coming out a little bit, but we'll have to chat later. Awesome. So, I mean, how has this process been for you, Real Story specifically? How has it been for you?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I have been, thinking about making a film, or like making like really anything relating to this topic for a bit. But I've been busy with like school and that kind of thing, so I haven't really had the chance to.
Oh, cool. So maybe this summer kind of giving you some more free time.
Yeah.
And this is a cool program. Do you know how long the program has been around for, Lauren, the Real Stories program?
I'm not sure how long it's been around for. This is my first year teaching it, and I know it's one of our oldest programs.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out exactly what year it started, but it said it's SpyHop, one of SpyHop's oldest programs, and SpyHop's been around since 1999.
Yeah.
So it's probably
1999.
yeah, you're just learning this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been around a long time. So lots of student films made over the years. Just give us a quick idea of some of the other topics, maybe just a few other topics that students produce into documentaries.
Yeah, and if I forget any, let me know, guys. So we have one that's on the city and county building. It's basically just like emphasizing the architectural space of that building and how weird it is, and talking about some of the ghost stories in it, the tunnels underneath. So Peter was on that shoot, but we got to tour the tunnels below and go to the tower above.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, go through that whole building. It was really beautiful. Everett Mendenhall is making that film. And then we have Bella, who is doing a film similar to Menashe's that's pretty reflexive. And she's just going on this journey of like figuring out what about jazz she loves and why it makes her feel the way it does. So it's like a pretty experimental documentary compared to most of the other ones. But yeah, that's Bella's. It's very stylized. We have Kim, who's making a film on a magazine that she's created. It's a multimedia magazine about what it's like to be living in Salt Lake and culturally what that looks like. So she's like interviewing her grandmother as well as her mother and her brother and different artists. And who else am I forgetting?
Holden is doing a documentary on the 2008 housing crisis and also the current commercial bubble. This is me just saying what I remember him saying.
It's called Crashing Bubbles.
Yes, and it's really smart, and it goes really in depth for a 5-minute documentary, and I think it's really impressive. And Apollo is doing a documentary on food and culinary styles, different culinary styles, and how chefs express themselves through their food. And then
Kiriana, right? Kiriana is doing a film on, I think, the Great Salt Lake, right?
It's actually shifted. It started as the Great Salt Lake. Peter came on that shoot with us. It shifted instead of the Great Salt Lake into why there's so much political tension behind climate change.
Wow.
So, pretty like, I don't know.
Like it's a large array of topics.
Yeah.
And,
everyone did something very different from each other, and they're all very original ideas.
Okay. Well, thank you all so much. It's really awesome. For the listener, if you don't know, I used to work at SpyHop, so it's really cool to see things continuing to flourish and making some wonderful work. I'm really excited for the premiere on Thursday. But tell us a little bit more where people can find it and what time this Thursday.
Yeah, so this Thursday at 7 p.m. at the Salt Lake Public Library. So that's just downtown Salt Lake City. And it will be a 2-hour-long event. So it will end right at 9. Come through. 8 films will be playing and 7 of our filmmakers will be there.
All youth filmmakers. So thank you all so much for coming and taking the time to chat with me. I really appreciate it. Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
All right. And we are going to now turn over to Lara Jones here in the studio.